An Oxford scholar believes two cosmic wars happened in our solar system between advanced extraterrestrials. The world was not ready when Apollo 15 astronaut Al Worden said in a live interview that humans are the ancient aliens who came down to Earth and started civilization here. He referred to ancient Sumerian texts for it, and more interestingly, according to Dr. Joseph Farrell, there have been some kind of intergalactic space battles involving super advanced extraterrestrials that took place in our solar system millions of years ago. The author of the book, The Cosmic War, Dr. Joseph Farrell, says there's ample evidence across our solar system of cataclysmic and catastrophic destruction events. He suggests that two cosmic wars took place, one 65 million years ago and another one 3.2 million years ago. We have to note that Joseph Farrell is an Oxford-educated historian who specializes in alternative history, World War II, and secret technologies. After a lifelong interest in alternative history, science, and a fascination for ancient texts, Joseph started writing on these subjects in 2001, and rejecting the naturalist and materialist assumptions of catastrophism forwarded by other researchers. Dr. Farrell says that it is time to take the ancient myths of a cosmic war in the heavens seriously, incorporating extraterrestrial artifacts, cutting-edge ideas in contemporary physics, and the texts of ancient myths into his argument. He maintains that ancient interplanetary war was fought in our own solar system with weapons of extraordinary power and sophistication. Many ancient history scholars and authors have mentioned the so-called technology of the gods, which includes not only the mystical flying machine, the Vimanas, of the Hindus, but also powerful weapons of the gods, for example, the Vajra, an artifact of the Anunnaki gods which shoots lightning, the lightning rod of Zeus. In the book, Dr. Farrell mentions the ancient Sumerians and god Ninurta wielding a thunderbolt that is a dead-shot ringer for the electrical discharge produced in a modern lab that experiments with plasma physics. Dr. Farrell asserted that the echoes of this cosmic war are reflected in the ancient texts of the Sumerians, the Babylonians, the Egyptians, biblical texts, Vedic tradition, ancient Greeks, also the New World mythology from the Maya, Aztecs, to the myths of some native North American tribes. But think about it. The oldest texts come from the ancient Mideast, who are perhaps 4,000 to 5,000 years old. Vedic texts of India go back as far as 5,000 to 6,000 years. Besides, purely oral traditions might possibly push the information back a few more thousand years. And that's a long time, but it's nothing compared to 3.2 million years. It's ridiculous beyond belief to consider a connection between 6,000-year-old ancient manuscripts with events that happened 65 million years ago. It sounds unacceptable that all of the civilizations, high and low, such as the Egyptians, the Mongols, the various Chinese dynasties, the Roman Empire, the Inca, the Aztecs, have come and gone in just the past few thousand years. The Soviet period was only 75 years. It's true that the traces of traditions and mythology have survived thousands of years. British psychologist and author Stan Gooch, who is probably best known as the proponent of the hybrid origin theory of human evolution, makes a rather compelling case that much of our fundamental culture today is underpinned and actually derived from the extinct Neanderthal race, that last of which died out about 20,000 to 30,000 years ago. Gooch said the modern man is unaware of or has forgotten the origins of its primary fundamental cultural attributes, such as the development of the zodiac and various God theological concepts, and so much more. But it does not help Dr. Farrell. As for him, even 20,000 to 30,000 years is nothing. The Neanderthals had an approximately 250,000 year run as successful species, but it's nothing for Dr. Farrell. According to mainstream scientists, the origin of Homo sapiens is about 200,000 years, yet Dr. Farrell is making the case that legends were handed down by one civilization to another for 3.2 million years, though there are alternative archaeology proponents who say that human species is actually billions of years old. Unfortunately, such statements are certainly on the fringe, to say the least. But Dr. Farrell's cosmic scenario gets a tremendous shot in the arm from the work of physicist Dr. John Brandenburg. He's a brilliant and accomplished plasma physicist who earned his PhD from the University of California, Davis in 1981. Dr. John Brandenburg published two controversial books, Death on Mars and Life and Death on Mars, in which he makes a highly scientific and rigorously technical case that Mars was destroyed by nuclear weapons millions of years ago as part of interstellar cosmic conflict. Brandenburg said Mars was wiped out when some advanced extraterrestrial race dropped two 1 million megaton bombs that exploded in strategic locations about 20 miles above the Martian surface. If he's correct, that would be a benefit for Dr. Farrell's theory about an ancient cosmic war, but there is a major problem. According to Dr. Brandenburg, Mars was nuked 251 million years ago. That does not go along with Dr. Farrell's timeline of 3.2 million and 65 million years ago. However, Dr. Farrell might be onto something in his book, The Cosmic War. According to the late Dr. Tom Van Flandern, an American astronomer specializing in celestial mechanics for the U.S. Naval Observatory, a planet in between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter was exploded around 65 million years ago, or as early as 3.2 million years ago. He finds some way to frame his cosmic war scenario within a time scenario of, say, 10,000 to 15,000 years. I suggest that Van Flander's exploded planet hypothesis makes sense only if one is willing to entertain a non-natural explanation. Of course, this is heretical on several levels, as the explanation must somehow encompass the presence of potential artifacts on Mars, as well as a presumed high-tech culture on Mars, erstwhile parent. Strangely, the revolutionary climax from Eando Binder's Puzzle of the Space Pyramids comes to mind. In Binder's novel, the asteroid belt was formed by a focused gravity assault that harnessed the energy of the entire solar system. The pyramids of the title were essentially gravity generators used to manipulate space-time, Dr. Farrell wrote. It is the least to say about Dr. Farrell's cosmic war, but in doing so, he offers a solution to an enigma that has long mystified researchers, disclosing the cause of that ancient war, the means by which it was waged, and the real nature of the secret technology behind the ancient tablets of the destinies. And this is on Hows and Whys by Vicky Verma. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.